Well, thank you for inviting me, and this is quite a critical issue in South Africa today. It is killing the economy of South Africa, and illegal mining, to put it in context, is actually, like you say, it's a crime. We need to stop, putting nice terms around it as if to try and assuage the feelings of people who are committing this crime. Illegal mining it's an international criminal syndicate plundering the resources of South Africa. That's basically what it is. And South Africa loses in tax revenue from illegal mining alone to the upwards of 30 billion annually, 30 billion rands. And the figures may be even more because we don't know the real figures. That's what South Africa is losing in terms of tax revenue, money that should have been used to deliver a service to the people of South Africa. Now, the question is, what does the public sector and the private sector do about this? Because most people think nothing is being done about it. Something is being done, although it's not enough. It can never be enough, given the scale of this criminal syndicate that's plundering South Africa. However, from the public sector point of view, we've seen interventions through law enforcement from the South African Police Service to deal with this. Recently, the South African National Defence Force was called upon to reinforce the SAPS to deal with this because the police alone could not cope. They needed to be reinforced and all of that. But in order for you to do that, you need intelligence. And that intelligence you get from the people on the ground who are the actual miners of these minerals. And that's where the private sector comes in. The private sector, individual mines, through their partnerships with individual communities where they operate, they gather quite a number of substantial intelligence on this, pass it on to government, but they also have the Mining Council of South Africa, which is an industry body that engages government and various other stakeholders in mining. So they will come up with policy proposals, implementation strategies, monitoring strategies to make sure that this doesn't happen. So there is something that is happening. There was even a report commissioned by the South African Human Rights Commission that delved in detail. It's quite a detailed report, and I'm quite disappointed that a lot of South Africans don't even know about it. It details the origination of this, the difficulties it poses, and the social impacts, and quite a lot of issues, and as well as the problems that are faced by the public sector in terms of when we have the police dealing with illegal mining on their own. You have the Department of Home Affairs saying, we're just going to look at the issue of citizenship. We're not going to talk to anyone else. You have Department of Welfare that's looking after the rights of children and all of that, looking at child trafficking and all of those things. So the emphasis was on collaborate as government, stop working in silos, stop working in silos, work together, share information, and do this together as a team, because when you do that, you'll be able to close all the gaps in the enforcement, the prevention of this. Where it is found, it must be dealt with and closed, and to make sure that it doesn't happen again. So that report is there. Everybody must please have a look at it. And government, the president was here on the 5th at the Mining Indaba, on the 5th of Feb. He touched on measures that government is taking to deal with the issue of illegal mining in South Africa. Well, the most important thing when it comes to communities is the mining industry must treat communities in which they operate as partners. As partners, in a sense that without these communities being your partners in your operation, you don't have what we term the social license to operate. In other words, you have this hostile relationship with the community. When they see something happening that hurts your operation, like illegal mining, they won't talk to you, they won't tell you, they won't give you the intelligence that you need to deal with this issue. So what these mining companies need to do in South Africa is to work hand in hand with communities in which they operate and establish structures that could be used as information sharing structures, intelligence sharing structures, and where they could share strategies on how to deal with this, because they know more what's happening in their communities than the mines. And the one thing that I want to deal with is what is the interest of the communities in curbing illegal mining? Illegal mining activities, when they happen in the communities, these are the things that get affected. Government has to provide water, electricity, and other services to communities. These criminal syndicates who do illegal mining, they divert water intended for communities. They connect electric substations of Eskom to their illegal mining activities, depriving communities of water, of electricity that they as taxpayers are entitled to receive from the government. So they are the stakeholders who need to work hand in hand with the mines, because by working hand in hand in the mines, they are protecting not only the interests of the mines but themselves. Because if the mining operations stop operating in the areas where they live, then the local economy is dead. Jobs will be lost. Kids won't get educated. Businesses will lose the contracts that they get from the mining community. So that partnership, it's not just a luxury, it's a must. Yeah, it's a survival strategy, it's a must. Well, what we do is we spend quite a lot of time with our clients, going to their operations and working together with them to find out the extent to which they experience these illegal mining activities. So we then ask them to, first of all, when they draft their social labor plans, the SLPs, they need to take into account aspects such as it is not possible for a mine to operate for the duration of its lifespan, intended lifespan. Things happen. The economy changes, the price of commodities change, mine closes, the shafts close, and all of that. So they need to enhance and invest a lot of money into the retraining, the reskilling of affected miners who are affected by things like retrenchments and plants that have to be closed and all of that. And the one thing that I want to touch on as well is the question of what other aspects are affected by illegal mining. People talk about gold, people talk about diamonds. Illegal mining goes as far as they will go into an existing mining shaft owned by a licensed large-scale mine and literally attack it from the other end. When you see a mining accident, you ask yourself why. Sometimes there's a possibility that there were some illegal mining activities happening on a mine shaft that's operational and nobody knew about that. Only these criminal syndicates knew. So we say to them, you need to monitor where you work. Don't just monitor where you mine. The entire area that you are licensed to mine, you need to make sure that 24/7 it is monitored, because these people are so brazen that they will come into existing operation and do what they're doing and cause havoc. Because they do it, there's no regulations, there's no safety protocols, there's no SOPs, standard operating procedures they follow. It's just a free-for-all. It's just chaotic. So that's what we talk to our clients about.